Welcome to our session, taking you through enableHR account setup, getting you up and running. If you are watching this session as a new client of enableHR, you should have already had an onboarding session with a member of our client services team. This session is part of a series and is the first of the account setup sessions. You should have already watched our introduction of what enableHR can do for you, so you'll be aware of the functionality available to you through enableHR. You're likely to be an account administrator early on with your journey with enableHR, but you could be watching this as a recap or to learn how to complete some specific setup items. In this session, we're going to take you through the first steps of setting up your enableHR account to get you up and running for your ongoing use of enableHR. We're going to cover how to add your own branding to your enableHR account, how to set up your branch structure, how to get your employee records into enableHR, how to upload company HR documents, and how to upload current and historical employee documents, how to build out your competency library to capture training and qualification information, and how to link competency data to employee records and documents. If you've already had a call with a member of our team, you may find you have already completed some of these setup items, and this may just be a recap for you. So let's jump into the demo and get started. This is what you'll see when you log in to your enableHR account. This is the home screen in the management view. I'm currently logged into an Australian account. The look and feel will be the same for our Australian and New Zealand accounts. However, the legal documents and templates within the system will be different to reflect differences in legislation. There will also be some terminology differences between both countries. You should have already attended or watched the recorded version of our introduction session, which takes you through the navigation of the home screen. If you're attending this setup session, you're most likely an account admin and should have access to see and do everything needed in your account. If there is something that you can't see or do, please let us know so we can check your user access settings. We'll also cover this topic in our session on additional features, training and launch of enableHR, which is the next session in our training series. Your first step to setting up your account is going to be to upload your branding to your enableHR account. You can brand your enableHR account with your logo so it looks more familiar to your managers and employees when they log into either the management side or into employee self-service. You can upload your letterhead to be included on any HR documentation that you create from enableHR. You can also update the communication settings for emails that you send out of enableHR. So to set up your branding, you will want to navigate to Settings up in the top right here, and then Account Settings. Under Account Details, you'll see that there's a Branding tab. Click Edit, and select the logo files that you want to display in your account. They'll usually be the same, but if needed, you can use different logos to be displayed on the management side and employee self-service. And you have the two different areas to upload them, one here and one here. For your letterhead, you will need to upload a PDF document. So if you have your letterhead as a Word document, just save that as a PDF and then upload it using Select File here. You can decide whether you have your letterhead visible on every page of a document you generate or just the first page by using this option just here. Click Update once you've uploaded your letterhead up at the top. You can then check a preview template by choosing one from the list here and selecting Preview Template. By doing that, you can check whether your letterhead overlaps with the content of the template at all. And if it does, you can then click Edit and update these margin settings as needed. Under the Communication tab, just here, you can configure the communication settings so that emails and correspondence sent from enableHR can be identified as being sent by your business. The default settings are that they are sent by enableHR. So if you don't update these, it will just look like the emails are coming from enableHR. Click on Edit. Enter a display name, such as your business name, an email address, such as a HR email address. You can also upload your company email signature for when those system generates an email, and you should be able to copy and paste from your Outlook or Gmail or create one directly in this box using the formatting tools available. Once that's been complete, the branding of your account is now complete. And the next step that we're going to look at is your branch structure. Within enableHR, you can build a branch structure to help organize your account and your employee records. You're going to want to consider your company structure to help you define what the best branch structure will be for you in enableHR. Some clients won't use a branch structure. Others may base their branches on departments or maybe locations. If you're planning to integrate with a payroll system like Xero, you could structure your branches in the same way you've structured your employees in your payroll system. You can create as many branches or sub-branches as you need, and they can be categorized as either legal entities or departments or groups. Using branches will structure your account in a way where you can control which managers have access to which branches, and therefore access to the employees within those branches. You can also make documentation available to specific branches or create different documentation to reflect the branch information saved within enableHR, including different branding. Whilst you can update your branch structure later, it is beneficial to have finalized it before entering your employees so you can upload them into the correct branch, as it will take you longer if you correct this later in your setup process. So navigate to the Branches tab and then click on New Branch. Through here, you'll see your different options. You will want to have your initial branch as a legal entity, as this will get picked up as the legal name of your business when generating documents in the system. Your sub-branches will most likely be classed as a department or group, and the system will still pick up the legal entity above if you create documents specifically in those branches. So enter your branch name, just here, and select the parent branch that it sits under. You can click to copy that contact information from the parent branch so that it flows on down. If you're using the applicant portal, you can choose whether this branch will be visitable to candidates by selecting this option here. You will most likely only have account admins as user of the account at this stage, so you will want to give access to all existing users by ticking this button here. If you're creating a branch further down the track and you only want certain managers to be able to access that branch, you wouldn't tick this option and you would navigate to the user account settings to give the individual managers access to that new branch. If you are managing different legal entities, or if you have a reason for your branches to have different company branding, there are additional branding settings that you can update once it's been created at the branch level. Click on the branch that you've created and come across and you'll see that there's a branding tab. Through here, click on Edit and then check whether you're happy with those settings. When you have created a branch, you should also navigate to the Integration tab so that you can add a branch integration API key, as this acts as a unique identifier for the branch. It can be any combination of numbers and letters. This branch API key is vital for importing employees and for future API integrations that you may decide to utilize. If a branch doesn't have an API key, then it will not be possible to import employees into it. Once you have the branding and structure of your account set up, Your next step is going to be that you want to enter your employees into enableHR. We have a few different ways that you can create or upload employees in enableHR. The method we recommend will depend on how many employees you have and if you currently manage employee files electronically, either using a spreadsheet or within a payroll system. Depending on what payroll system you use, you might be able to avail of one of our integrations. Our most popular integration is with Xero. We also have an import spreadsheet that you can use to upload your employee records into enableHR in bulk. If you don't have many employee records, you may decide to create them individually within your enableHR account. Whichever method you use to enter your employees, we recommend that you enter an employee ID as it will assist with further setup items. You can see that employee ID column just here in front of you. If you don't have IDs for your employees, have a look in your payroll system and see if they've been applied within there. And if not, now's a great time to create those employee IDs. To use one of our payroll integrations, navigate to Actions up in the top bar, and then Integrations. Here, you will find instructions on the different payroll platforms that we integrate with. Some are two-way integrations, and some use import and export spreadsheets between the systems. Select the payroll system that you use and follow the steps provided. If you're going to use one of our integrations, it's a good idea to reach out to our client support team for assistance with initiating the integration before you get started. We also have additional resources on our knowledge base for each of the integrations that we provide. Prior to setting up your integration, we do recommend reading through all of the relevant knowledge base articles in detail to ensure that you don't miss any key steps that you need to complete. To use our importer, select the Import from an Excel spreadsheet option, and you will find an option to import employees. Select the most recent version. Within here, there is an example spreadsheet up on the top here under Resources that you can use as a template to complete with your employee data. If you already have your employees recorded in a spreadsheet, either from your own files or as an export from a system we don't integrate with, you can copy the info across into our template spreadsheet ready to upload into enableHR. Please be mindful that you do need to use our example spreadsheet, as there is a standardized format that needs to be used to import your employees successfully. If you want to get it checked for any errors prior to uploading, you can send it through to our client support team, but we do ask for you to encrypt the email for security purposes if you decide to do this. Once you've uploaded your completed file, you will get a preview to check that your columns and data look like they're lining up correctly. If you're happy with it, continue to upload, and your employees will be uploaded into the system. If you're uploading a lot of employees through the importer, sometimes it's a good idea to do one or two to begin with, so you can check you're happy with the upload and then upload the rest. If you choose to create your employees individually directly in your enableHR account, you'll do this from the Employees tab back in your document management area. So there's your Employees tab there. Select Add an Employee and enter all of the relevant details that you have, and then click Create. You can come back to this at any time to add further details as needed. As a minimum, we do recommend entering their first and last name, their employee ID, and an email address. You can see here that only first name and surname are actually compulsory fields. Once you have uploaded your employees using your chosen method, you'll move on to uploading any company HR documents that you want your managers and employees to be able to access. The main thing to be aware of when uploading company documents is the document type, this field just here. This will impact whether it is restricted to just managers viewing it through the management side of enableHR, or whether employees will also be able to view it through their employee self-service portal. For the full list of what document types can be viewed in ESS, there is an article on our knowledge base. The status of the document that you can see in this column here is also important for an employee to be able to see it through ESS. It needs to have a complete, created, or executed status. Employees cannot see documents if they are in draft or a non-current status, regardless of what that document type is. There are a few different areas within enableHR that you can upload company documents, depending on what the documents are. Most documents, other than company policies, can be uploaded to the General Docs tab that we're currently on. As depicted by the mobile phone icon, documents saved to this tab can be viewed through employee self-service if they are saved as a relevant document type. Go to Upload a new document and choose whether you are uploading a file or whether you are creating a link to a document that is saved externally from enableHR. When uploading a file, if you select the file name first before entering the title, the system will pre-populate that title for you. You can then edit that title as required. As an example, you might want to upload your staff contact list or a seating plan. As mentioned, you'll need to select a relevant document type. By default, the document type will be showing as other document, as this is not visible to employees in employee self-service. So by default, you cannot accidentally upload a document that employees will immediately be able to view. As I want employees to see the staff contact list, I'm going to select ESS document type, a general document type that is visible in ESS, so ESS doc. If applicable, select a version and also a signature date if needed. You can also use the expiry date to set the expiry or review date of the document, and you can also set up any reminders that you feel are suitable. You can also select which branches the document will be visible to. If you want to only make it visible to certain branches within your account, you can select those specific branches through here. If the document should be visible to your whole account, just keep it as all branches under here, so that any branches you create in future will also be able to view those documents. Click Upload, and this will bring you into the document details. Through here, you can make any edits to the settings or details that you have just applied. You can change the title, the type, or the branches that have access to the document under this section under the details down here. In future, if you want to upload a new version, you can do so by clicking on this option here of Upload a new version. And if you scroll down to the very bottom of the screen, here you can see any previous versions of a document that you've uploaded. Only the most recent version will show on your General Docs tab, and it's only when you click into the details of the document that you can then see those previous versions if required. If you have existing company policies that you are going to continue using, you can upload these under the Policies tab. Again, the mobile phone icon just here does indicate that documents can be visible through ESS, and as they are policies, they'll be saved as the policy document type that you can see down here. If you need to upload an existing policy, click on Upload a new document and follow the same steps previously shown for uploading a document under the General Docs tab. The only difference is that you won't need to change that document type. It will automatically save it as a policy because we're under the Policy tab. If you do want to upload documents such as procedures under here, Once they have been uploaded, they will be saved as the document type of policy, but then you can click on the name of the document, and in those document details, you update that document type if required. If you don't currently have any company policies, or you want to create new policies using the templates written by our parent company, FCB Workplace Law in Australia, or Langton Hudson Butcher in New Zealand, you can select Create a New Policy just here and choose from the available templates in the drop-down list. This will take you through a document creation process using a question and answer style format that will generate documents specific to your business. Once you have all of your employee records and company HR documents loaded into the system, you're going to want to move on to the next step of setting up your account, which is uploading your employees' current and historical HR documents. Depending on how long you have been operating as a business and the length of service of your employees, you may want to choose to prioritize certain documents to upload and upload the others at a later stage. We have 3 ways that you can upload employee documents. Depending on how many employees you have and how many associated documents, you will need to choose the method that best suits your circumstances. When you are first setting up enableHR, you will most likely want to use one of our bulk upload methods that will enable you to upload multiple documents to multiple employee records at the same time. There are 2 different versions you can choose from. You will need to navigate to Actions up in the top bar, and then Bulk Upload. The first option that we have within here allows you to upload documents of the same document type to multiple employee records at the same time. For example, you could do a type of employment contract, or ID, or photo. As previously mentioned, document types are important as it may impact who can view the document, including the employee, through their self-service portal. And you may want to be able to report on particular document types in the future. There is an article on our knowledge base that outlines what document types are visible to employees through ESS. However, a lot of them are likely to be quite obvious. As mentioned earlier, the default document type that enableHR uses when uploading documents is Other Document, and you can see that just here. This document type doesn't categorize the document and won't make it visible to employees through ESS. You can use the ESS document type if you do want employees to view it. It will not categorize the document as it is a general document type, but it will be visible to your employees through ESS. For this method, you will need to ensure that the title of the documents include the employee ID and that they are all included in a zip file ready to upload. You will select the document type here that you're uploading. So for example, if it's all of your staff photos, you may choose photo. If version is applicable, you can select a version. If it's a large upload, it will run in the background. So choose an email address to be notified when it's completed and pop that in just here. Select your zip file and click Upload. So how does this upload work? The system will look at the documents that you've entered into that zip file. It's going to look at the title to identify the employee ID it should be loaded against. It will save the type as the document type that you have selected just here. The second bulk upload option is more flexible and has 2 purposes. You can upload documents without the employee ID in the title, or you can upload documents with different document types at the same time. To use the second option, you will need to complete a mapping spreadsheet to upload alongside your zip file. So just up here where it says this example, through there, you can download the example spreadsheet and fill it in. Complete the necessary information so that the system knows which document to upload to which employee file. what the name of what the document is, the employee's ID, and then also that document type that you want it to be saved as. Down here, you'll then click to show the option to upload that mapping spreadsheet. Upload your mapping spreadsheet here and your zip file here, and then click upload. If you don't have many documents, you may choose to upload documents directly to the employee's record individually. Whilst you may not use this method when you first set up enableHR for your business, you're likely to need to use this method with your continued use of enableHR. So we'll take a look at that just now. Navigate home to your Employees tab and into an employee record. Navigate to their Documents tab and then to upload a new document. Through here, you can choose that file name first so that it pre-populates the title of the document that you want to upload. And you can then change that title as needed. You will need to choose a document type as the next option here, because as mentioned a couple of times now, this is important to depict whether or not that employee will see this document through self-service. And there is an article on our knowledge base that will tell you all of the different document types and whether or not they're visible to the employee. In this instance, I'm uploading a copy of a passport, so I'm going to categorize that as identification. If required, we can select a signature date and an expiry date and set up any reminders in relation to that if required. I'll then hit upload. Once uploaded, you will see some possible action items. You also have the ability to upload a new version of that document if required, same as what we did under the general documents. Scrolling down, the details section just here outlines the details or the properties for the document, and you can make any amendments to that document type, expiry date, status, etc. here, either now or in the future. You can come in and amend any of these details after a document has been saved or uploaded through one of the bulk upload methods that we did just before. If we go back to the employee's profile by clicking on their name just here, you can see that that document has now been uploaded. The document type and also the status, so that document type here and the status just here, are the factors that will control whether the employee can see the document through ESS. A document will have a status of draft, like this one just here. If you have set it to that either through the details on the document or if you have only partially created it through one of our checklists or directly from the Create a New Document button. We haven't covered competencies yet in relation to the training and qualifications, but for documents relating to training and qualifications, you can either upload them through one of the methods that I've just shown you, or you can upload them individually to the applicable training competency, which will also save it to this Documents tab. For setting up your account, you will probably want to include these types of documents for training and qualifications in one of the bulk upload methods to get them uploaded in the most efficient way. If you are going to link a document that is related to any training and qualifications to the relevant competency, which we'll be covering off next in this session, you don't need to include an expiry date on the document, as you will enter an expiry date directly against the competency as opposed to on the document. In regards to the Create a New Document button just here, we do say that wherever possible, we recommend creating documents through the relevant checklist rather than directly on the employee's file. This ensures that all applicable process steps are also covered to assist with compliance, as well as creating the document required. There will, of course, however, be times where you may need to create documents directly on the employee file, and this is why that option is there for you to utilize. We will cover how to use checklists in our session on empowering managers with enableHR, as in this particular session, we are focusing on the setup of your account rather than the ongoing use. However, if you do find there's particular documents you're needing to create at this stage, click on Create a New Document, choose the document type that you are wanting to create, and it will bring you up the drop-down list of the templates that are built into the back of enableHR. Next, we're going to look at training and qualifications and the functionality available to you through enableHR. So up in the top right, navigate to Settings and then Training and Qualifications. And this will bring you into the Training and Qualifications Administration area. enableHR's training and qualifications functionality allows businesses to track, record, and report on their employees' competencies. The terminology of a competency can cover qualifications, training, skills, licenses, tickets, medical information, capabilities, and professional registration or memberships. So in short, you can use this functionality to capture anything you need to track on an employee's record as part of their role or as a general requirement. As you can see, if I scroll down my library just here, there are a number of things that you can capture. These are all just examples, and your library will come blank for you to fill it in with whatever is relevant to you and your organization. When applied to an employee, all documentation, data, and expiry dates tracked against competencies are stored on their file. This can ensure compliance and will trigger a range of automated alerts for any competencies that have expiry dates. To use this functionality, you will first need to create a library of competencies within your account. You can also create roles to assist you to allocate multiple competencies to workers' records consistently. You will then need to assign the roles or individual competencies to your employee records and update any details about them that you already have, including linking to or attaching related documents. To get your account set up for training and qualifications, you can utilize one of our import options to create this competency library and also to add competencies and achievement data to your employee records. To do this, navigate to Actions and Integrations, select the Excel spreadsheet option again, and this time choose Import Competency Information. The first of the example documents up here under Resources will enable you to fill in the competency information and upload it to your account. This is what can build out your competency library. The second example document will allow you to include the achievement data for your employees, as well as that competency information to build out your library. Upload your file by selecting it just here and clicking Upload, and then follow the prompts shown to you on the screen. If you don't want to use our importer, or you want to add additional competencies individually at a later stage, navigate back to Settings and then Training and Qualifications. If you have used the importer, it will have populated this Competencies tab with your library. To create a new competency individually, click on New Competency. The name, description, and type are all compulsory fields indicated by the star. We recommend choosing the applicable ESS document type listed just here for the intended associated documents, so that the system will automatically categorize documents uploaded against the competency through ESS by the employee accordingly. You can see that the default document type for documents being uploaded through ESS is training document, but select the one that is most relevant to the document that's being uploaded. You can also assign the competency to a group, which is like a heading to help organize your library. As mentioned, you can also use roles under this tab just here to allocate one or more competencies to an employee record at once. When you allocate a role to an employee record, the competencies that are assigned to that role will automatically be assigned to the record with a status of missing to then be updated. To create new roles, click on New Role, enter the name and description, and then select the relevant competencies for your library by dragging and dropping them up into this area here, and then click Create. So now we've gone through how to complete your training and qualifications administration setup for your account, but there will still be some further steps for you to complete on the employee records. At the moment, we've just covered the administration part of training and qualifications. If you don't use the competency importer that includes achievement data, you will need to add the competencies to your employee records. If you choose to use roles, you will also need to add these to your employee records. And lastly, you'll also need to link any associated documents to the competency record. So let's jump across to the training tab on an employee record to see how all of that ties together. So navigate to the employee record and then navigate to their training tab. If you have used the importer with achievement data, you will see the competencies already applied to your employee records with data filled in. If not, this area will be blank. Regardless of whether you use the importer, if you've set up your roles in your administration area, you're going to want to assign those roles to the employee. This will then group any competencies already applied underneath the title of that role, or add the competencies with a status of missing to the employee's record. If we're wanting to assign a role, you would click on Assign Role, choose the particular role that you want to assign, and click Assign Role. You can also remove roles by clicking on Unassign Role and choosing which ones you want to remove. When a role is removed, all existing competencies that are either completed, expired, or in progress will be retained against the employee file under the individually assigned section just down here, so that you don't lose the competency information that's already been loaded against them. If in future you add further competencies to the role in the training and qualifications administration area, it will automatically apply that competency to the employee record with a status of missing, like this one just here. The details can then be completed by management or by the employee themselves through ESS. You can also add competencies individually to the employee's record by selecting Add Competency, assign an existing competency, and then choosing the relevant competency from the list. You are then going to need to fill in the relevant details. If you don't know or have them, you can set that status to missing, and the employee can fill them in themselves through ESS. If you do have the details and you want to update them yourself, you can click on Update, update them as required, so you can update the details, and hit Submit. This will then be listed against their file. You are going to need to complete the next step, regardless of whether you have used our importers or whether you've applied competencies individually on an employee record. Depending on your setup so far, it may slightly alter the actions you'll need to take to link your competency records to any associated documents. If you haven't yet uploaded a document to the employee's file that is associated with a competency, you can do it through the Update button on the competency. Click on Update and then Upload Document and select the relevant documents from your file. Update that relevant document type and click Submit. You'll then see the paperclip icon indicating a document has been uploaded. And if we navigate to the Documents tab, you'll see that that document has also been uploaded just here. If you have already uploaded a document, which you may have done individually or using the bulk upload functionality for documents, you'll simply need to click on the Update button for a competency. And rather than clicking on Upload Document, you are going to Attach Document. And you're then going to link to that relevant document that's already been uploaded. Click Submit. And you'll see again, we then get that paperclip icon indicating that that document is now linked to this competency record. That rounds out the last setup step that we're going to complete within this session. You've just completed your first account setup session, covering all of the main elements you need to get set up to start utilizing enableHR. Depending on the specific requirements of your business, there will still be some further setup steps that you're likely to need to complete, and we cover these off in the next session. The final session that you can attend will take you through all of the elements of how to use enableHR on an ongoing basis. In the next setup session, we'll cover the organization chart and how you can set that up, security and user access for managers so that you can start adding them into your account, employee professional development on an employee record, an overview of the online performance review module, an overview of the work health and safety module. We'll have a look at contractors and volunteers. We'll also talk about the Seek integration and the applicant portal. And finally, how to launch enableHR. If you need a recap of what we have covered in this session, you can access our knowledge base where you'll find specific articles to support each of our training sessions. The articles will provide the written instructions of all the elements we've covered today, plus lots more. If you require any further assistance in setting up your enableHR account and any of the steps covered in this session, our client support team are here and ready to help, and the contact details are on your screen at the moment. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this session helpful, and don't forget to attend or watch our session on how to set up those additional features in your enableHR account, and then the next one on how to use it on an ongoing basis. Thank you.